Brands have already paid me over $700 for a single video, and no, I'm not an influencer. I don't have millions of followers, and you don't need this either. This is UGC, one of the fastest growing side hustles out there right now, and in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how beginners are getting paid for just creating common content with 0 followers. So what is UGC? All UGC stands for is user-generated content, and this is essentially when brands are going to pay regular people like you and I to create ads for them. The brand is going to take whatever you just made for them, whether it's a video, photo, review, whatever, they're going to be posting this onto their own social media channels. And these will ultimately become ads that they run over time for driving more conversions to their products or services. Now, the key difference here between influencer marketing and UGC is that influencer marketing is primarily focused on your own audience, your own followers, and essentially that's a whole different world that we won't get into. In today's video, we're going to talk about this with UGC because, again, you don't need followers to get started in this. They don't care. You can have like 200 followers, you can have like 2,000 followers. UGC is needed all around. And that's the power of UGC. It's skill and not about follower count. And in my opinion, if a brand is asking you for your follower count just so that they can work on UGC with you, that is kind of a red flag in my opinion. Now you might wonder, why are brands paying me, a normal person, to create a whole ad for them when they have a whole production studio that they can go with? And that's exactly the psychology behind UGC. You see, a lot of times when you scroll on TikTok, YouTube, whatever you see content, a lot of times heavily produced ads just aren't converting as they used to convert. Nowadays, people want more trust, they want more authenticity, they want more like out of the box thinking that usually a lot of UGC creators will be able to produce. For example, you see like Will Smith on the screen, you're probably gonna be like, oh yeah, he's a celebrity. Yeah, whatever, they're getting paid millions. Versus you see an everyday like looking, girl, boy, maybe they're Asian, an American, whatever it may be, it's more authentic, it's gonna connect better to you. And brands have figured out that these videos convert better. The conversions mean that they get paid more as a company, hence why UGC is attractive. Now here's the fun part, it's how to get started in this. I always get asked by friends and family that, hey, this sounds super cool, how can I get started in this? And the first thing that I tell them is to start getting a portfolio up. Your portfolio is essentially going to act like your digital resume, and it's going to house all your sample work that you've done in the past, or also gives an example of what you can be capable of producing for them. Now you'll be asking, Brian, I don't have any videos. I just got started. Where do I get these videos? And this is what I always tell people who always want to get into it. You can literally start with anything. You can literally make a video about this water bottle right here. You can also make one about your glasses. You can also make one about your wallet. Essentially, anything that you use on a day-to-day basis, you can make a video for. Now, the way that I would approach this is that don't make each video the exact same format. You want to kind of switch it up. You want to have some talking head ones where you're just literally just your talking head and you feature some of the products, some different scenes, different shots. You can also film some unboxing videos. If you ever get something new that you're going to get anyways, you can show an unboxing POV. And you can also incorporate ones where it's more storytelling, where it incorporates how this product solved a problem, and you can have multiple B-roll shots of different things while you voice it over. This essentially is going to give brands a really great insight into what they can expect from you, even if you are new. So I want to quickly show you my portfolio here as a quick example about what you can expect, how you can format your portfolio. So right here, it's my name. It's a little bit about myself, some of the niches that I specialize in, a little bit about my information. You can put like ethnicity, race, kind of, anything that makes you more unique. I also just put my own socials here as a nice to have, but you don't really need this unless you kind of already have some of the following. And here I would highly recommend putting any brands that you have worked with. And right now, since you're new, you may not have this, but over time you want to add this onto your portfolio. Now, here are some audience insights. This is after you already gotten some experience, but ultimately what you want to create is a thing like here where it has like the niche and also like some sample videos here. And if we scroll down, you can see that I've done multiple different niches, different types of videos, as well as kind of like a contact me button at the bottom where you can do the email, expecting what it's going to look like if they work with you. So I'll leave this in the description below if you want to check it out. I also want to show you a quick example here. This is my girlfriend, Catherine, and she has started creating UGC for almost coming up on a year soon, but she's done an amazing job at kind of growing over time. So here, kind of same thing. Her name is apparent, the niches that she's in, the type of creator she's in, and also the client list. She's got this going on. Right here, she recently created a case study which worked with a litter robot, which is quite of a big brand. And it's a good way to just tell brands like, hey, this is like what they came to me with. And here's how I saw them by creating these 2 videos. She also has testimonials on here. So after you work with a brand, you can start leaving this here. But since you're new, you might not have this. But again, fundamentally, you want to have these examples here so that brands browse through these and decide, hey, is this creator a good fit? And I highly recommend making the contact me feature on your page look really apparent, because this is ultimately going to be the way that you're going to communicate with brands. And both of these were created on Canva. It's completely free. You don't need to pay for a website builder or a website domain. Just use Canva. It's completely free. Now, when it comes to actually making these videos, you can use free editing software like iMovie or CapCut. These are great ways to just get into it. You don't need to pay a single penny for any software right now. Just focus on creating the content. Now, as you get started, there's also going to be helpful platforms that you might get some free samples. You might get some kind of free work at first. And some of these are going to be like Incense, Villo, or Join Brands. These usually tend to not be the greatest deals, but if you see something on there that it's like, hey, I wanted that product anyways, and I wouldn't mind adding this to my portfolio, then that would be a mutually beneficial type of relationship. But ultimately, in the long term, you want to shift away from these platforms and ultimately go on either just pitching your own webpage, aka the portfolio, or go on things like Fiverr or Upwork to have people find you. Now, once you have your portfolio up, you've made some samples, this is where you want to start doing some outreach. And this is the fastest way, in my opinion, to get deals. The more people that you contact, the higher chance that you're going to get a deal. Essentially, because you already built up your portfolio, this makes it incredibly easy. All you have to do is find the contacts of brands that you want to work with. So think of brands that you really authentically connect with, you really enjoy, maybe you already use their product and you see that they have UGC campaigns going on. You can contact these brands by finding their email addresses. Sometimes it could be their company email address. Sometimes they'll have a literal influencer marketing email address. Or sometimes you'll have to go on LinkedIn to find their social media manager. And in that way, you'll be able to connect to their team that does UGC or influencer marketing. And just to keep this video short, I'll put a screenshot right here of a template that you can use to start pitching to brands. Essentially, you're just going to express interest and then link your portfolio at the bottom so that they know where they can refer to any sample content that you can provide. Now, here are some common beginner mistakes that I would avoid. Number one is underpricing. If you ever get an email that's going to say like it's a gifted campaign or it's like they'll only give you like $20 for a video, please do not accept that unless it's like something of a product that you already want. Usually when you start out, it's totally valid to take brand deals like $100 to $150. Those I would say are completely fair just starting out as a complete beginner with no videos, but still never lowball yourself under that. Now, another thing that I want to talk about a lot of creators don't talk about is giving them usage rights. Never give a brand lifetime usage rights because that means that the brand can use your ad forever. And they only had to pay like $100 to $150 for that. For a more experienced creator, lifetime usage rights, we charge a lot of money for it. That could be thousands of dollars. But usually the brand will negotiate like, oh, we want 30 days or we want 60 days or we want 90 days. And usually you just price a percentage based off your base rate. So for example, if you're charging the brand $150 for your base rate just for the video, you can add like 30% for like 60 days of usage rights. Another mistake is that you always want to be able to use contracts because those are going to be the binding agreements. Those are the agreements that you finalize on and always get it in writing. This will include how much you're getting paid, the deliverables, and any kind of details that you might miss here and there. Now, one last mistake that I want to call out that kind of goes back to the gifted collaborations. Those are actually going to be a taxable event. They might say it's a free gifted thing or like something in exchange for a video, but in the end, you have to pay taxes on any form of a payment that you get, even if it's like a free gifted collab. It's really not free because you have to pay taxes when it comes to tax season. So just keep that in mind. Now, the last portion of this video, I want to talk about scaling and mindset because UGC on paper, the way I'm presenting to you right now might seem like it's a really easy thing. One snap of a finger and you're going to get a brand deal. The hard truth is that that's not how it goes, and this is going to be a long-term game. Over time, you're going to learn the in and outs, you're going to make the mistakes, you're going to learn from your mistakes, and it's going to be in the long term. Just like many side hustles out there might be a low barrier to entry, but the ones that really make it are the ones that are consistent, they stick it through to the end. So don't just quit after 2 weeks if you haven't landed your first brand deal or UGC deal. You ultimately want to stick it through and can constantly improve, make more samples, start pitching to more and more people. And also, let's say you do get a brand deal, or maybe you don't. Maybe right now you don't have the best lighting. Maybe you don't have the best audio. These are things that you might be worthy to kind of like take an investment on. You might get a better light, you might get a better microphone. These can help increase the chances of you landing that UGC deal. But that's it for this first beginner video. If you guys want more guided walkthroughs or kind of different things to look out for, leave a comment down below. I'd be gladly able to follow up with another follow-up video to explain more in specific. But just generally, these are some really great guidelines to start out as a beginner in the UGC space. So if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, and then leave a comment down below on anything else you'd like to see. But with that, I'll see you guys in the next video.